And you're very welcome back to the Charlie James Show. Odie Fitzgerald going to be filling in for the next hour. Charlie has gone off doing some extracurriculars, heading down to the library, and he's going to be monitoring a debate about these schools. So if you're in the Greenville area, head on down to the library, get to meet Charlie, and from what I believe, it's going to be a pretty good and heated discussion. Lots of topics are going to be talked about there. What have I got coming up for you in this hour? Well, I'm going to be talking about obviously the big main event, Kamala last night. Yeah, did you watch it? Yeah, I watched some of it, and then my brain just kind of looked at her and giggled a little bit. I'm also going to be talking about Halloween. It's just around the corner, and the Secret Service. Does something need to happen there? We'll see. I'm going to be wrapping up talking a little bit about the hunting that's after kicking off. It's right smack in the middle of hunting season. I've been out. Have you? Well, yeah. Getting back to Miss Harris. I know Charlie was talking about it earlier on, but I couldn't just sit back. I just wanted to give a little bit of something extra. Don't forget, you can get in contact with us on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307, or you can talk to Odie on the Word WORD talk line 800 905 0989. I really want to hear your opinions about anything that I'm talking about tonight. But yes, Miss Harris, she was doing an interview again last night, and all I could see, that laugh, that giggle that she does, that stalling for time laugh. Anybody out there, you when you were a kid, did you, or maybe you still do, did you watch The Simpsons? And there was the doctor, Dr. Hibbert. And he's like, well, you see, you've got a case of pneumonia. That's all I can see. That is all I can see whenever I see Kamala Harris on the TV, on anything, on TikTok, anywhere at all. That's all I can see is Dr. Hibbert. Now I've got a little theory as well. Now maybe you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. And I'm also streaming as well. We're streaming on the Newstalk 98.9 Facebook page, on my own Facebook page, and I think we're on Instagram as well. Will is giving me the thumbs up. Yeah, we're on Instagram as well. Is there the puppeteer behind the puppet? That's what I want to know from you. My thoughts, now this is my thoughts, is you remember the last time when she done the debate, when she was on the debate and she was debating against the Donald, and a question would be asked of Donald and he would come straight back with the answer and he would talk about the answer. Okay. And he would answer the question. And then Kamala or however she's pronouncing her name today, she would stall for time just a wee bit, just enough. She'd make it look as if she was, if you're looking on the stream now, she'd look kind of like this, and she'd make it look like she was thinking long and hard about what she wanted to say and the answer she wanted to give. But she wasn't doing that. She was obviously listening to her earpiece. And I think the person behind the earpiece was none other than Barack and Big Mike. I think Barack Obama and Big Mike were feeding her what to say. Because if the election is over and if the election doesn't go the way that we hope it's going to go, then Barack Obama is pretty much just back in the White House. But then again, some people have said to me, Odie, Barack Obama and Big Mike are there already. They're already in the White House. They're pulling the strings. And that's why Barack made Sleepy Joe Biden his vice president, because he wanted to check some stuff out. He wanted to see how well Sleepy Joe would be able to take direction. Sleepy Joe, I think that we should let more people across the border. And I think that should happen. And Sleepy Joe's like, well, I think if I had some ice cream, then maybe we should go over here and get lost. And don't I look cool with my Ray Bans on? And I think that's what happened. And now the fact that he's, I don't want to say grooming because I don't like using that, but he's molding young Harris. He just has that kind of he is definitely pulling the strings. I really believe that Barack and Big Mike are pulling the strings. But you know what you can do? You can do something for Odie tonight. Okay? Time is 6 o'clock. Okay, six just after 6 o'clock on this Thursday, the 17th of October. You can get out and you can vote early. You can take part in early voting. There has been record numbers so far of early voting. 100%. The numbers are massive. Early voting numbers are absolutely huge. And you were saying to me, Odie, how do I do it? Well, you can go on to scvotes.gov. Scvotes.gov. You can go on there and it will tell you absolutely everything you need to do. Unless you are Jim in Easley, who hasn't had any cable or internet since 6:45 on September the 27th. Jim, now I've something I need to hold on. Now just let me go in here and I'll do this for you now, Jim. Bear with me. Duke Energy and go on to Duke Energy and just got to get this. Sorry, no, stay with me, Jim, because you're gonna want me to do this for you. You can report outages. There's outages. I'm just gonna give you a quick little rundown of the outages. Um, Back over here, there is numbers. Sorry, Jim. Yeah, I know I'm taking my time. The outages. Now, if you need to report your outages, Jim, I'm talking to you, Jim and Easley. You can ring 800 769 3766. That's 800 769 3766. Okay. If you still have outages, if you still have no power, or if there's anything wrong, you can call Duke Energy on that. The numbers they're nowhere near as bad as they were. And there's been a lot of people have been helping out because of that. If you see a linesman, thank him. That's all I can say to you. But yeah, get out there and vote. You need to get out there and vote. If you don't, I've said this before. So you've got the likes of Odie, okay? I cannot vote. I'm not allowed to vote. Now, some people would say, come on, Odie, there's a lot of people that aren't American citizens and they're voting already. Odie does things by the book. So get out there and vote. You know what I want to happen. I want Donald to get back in. I do. Because when I moved to America first, when Donald was in the White House, the place, not to say that the place isn't great now, because it is, because I love it. But it was a little bit better. It was a little bit cheaper to fill my truck. It was great. It was brilliant. So let's get him back in. So get out there and vote, because remember, Odie can't, because I'm not quite yet a citizen. Cannot get out and vote. You have to do that. I can't tell you who to vote for, but you know my thoughts. On the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. Odie, I've had power for a while, but these blank four walls are driving me crazy. You need to get out into the open, get out and look at some trees and look at some little fluffy animals, I suppose. There's lots of things out there to see. It's a nice day today. It's not as bad as it was. I mean, it's a little bit cool, and it was cold this morning when I was leaving the house at ten minutes till 6 this morning. But yeah. Anyway, when I come back, I'm going to be talking about Halloween, since apparently I know a lot about Halloween. You're listening to News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas. And you're very welcome back to the funky time that is News Talk 98.9 WRD Voice of Carolinas. I don't know what's happened, Will, today. Will has just gone funky for some reason. I look at nothing wrong with it. I love it. Always love what, what Will does. On the what was yeah, sorry, no. Sorry, really distracted in studio this evening. Um, so Halloween is approaching us. Halloween is coming up. It is the time for all of the scaries and the ghouls and the goblins to come out and to take over our lives. It seems that it happens a lot sooner every single year. It seems that the Halloween stuff comes out a lot quicker every year, and it does. And I don't want to say it. I do not want to say it, but I have seen, I have seen Christmas stuff in the stores. It's October. I know they're generating revenue, but look, we'll get back to Halloween for a second. When you go into the stores, I was talking to a very good friend of mine, actually back in Ireland today, about people being scared at Halloween. When you go into the stores, when you go into your Walmarts or you go into Ingles or you anywhere, and they've got decorations up and they've got severed limbs and severed bits of bodies, and I mean, obviously they're fake. They are fake. And they're trying to scare you and they're trying to freak you out and that kind of get that gag reflex going. And what do you think of it? Like, do you think it's too much? Do you think they're going too far? Do you think that they're trying to outdo each other and be more gory and to scare more people? I know there's a few places where you walk in the door and you hit a little pressure pad and a little ghost jumps out or a little animatronic scares you. Are we going a little bit too far? Has the world become too desensitized? Now, I'm not too sure about what used to happen over here in America back in the 80s and the 90s, the early noughties, I suppose. But when it was coming close to Christmas, Christmas is a big time in Ireland for eating turkey, and it'd be real turkey. Okay. Um, there'd be like you'd go to the butcher shop, there'd be like a literal butcher store, and there'd be dead turkeys hanging in the window. They'd be showing off their wares, showing off the displays, and it was a dead animal. And I remember many times being a kid, and I would say to my mother, "I was like, why is there a dead animal hanging in the window?" And it's like, oh, so you can eat it. But that won't happen anymore. But yet they're trying to scare the living daylights out of each other by hanging bits. I know, yes, fake bits of human corpses. And it's just, to me, it's a little bit kind of, well, I mean, you're not going to allow this kind of stuff to happen, but it's okay for this thing to happen. And, coming up to Thanksgiving, I mean, was it a big thing where you'd hang turkeys in butcher stores? Texter to the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line says that I was in Publix today getting milk and they had eggnog out already. Now, some people are going to rejoice and delight with the fact that eggnog is out already. Some people are going to be dancing that there is eggnog out already. I'm not. I've tried eggnog a few times. It's okay. I don't really mind it. But with the whole Halloween thing and scaring people, it brings me on to pranks. People that play pranks on each other. Now, if you remember, I think it was in 2022, there was a prankster in a mall in Dulles, and he was videoing it, and he picked on the wrong person. Went up and scared a random person, and the random person just happened to have a weapon, happened to be carrying a gun, and he got a little bit afraid. He got afraid. If you have someone running towards you now, I know if I was with my wife and son and somebody came running towards me in a supermarket, shopping center, or a mall, first thing I'm going to do is put my wife and son behind me. And then if they don't back off and they don't go away, well, you know what you can do if you feel like your life is in danger. I mean, you don't know if this person has a gun or a knife or if they're going to try and hurt you. We've got the Second Amendment for a reason. But is it getting to the fact that people are trying their best to scare people as much as possible? If you want to be scared, if you happen to be in the area, you want to be scared, head over to Mad World. There's characters roaming around there. They will scare the living daylights out of you. They'll jump out, but you're going there to be scared. You're going to these places. There's loads of other Halloween houses in the area. You go there to be scared. You don't expect to be out with your family and for someone to jump up at you. Another one I saw, I see it a lot. Yes, I know. I'm going to make a confession, dear people of the upstate. I sometimes death scroll on TikTok. I do it. And I've seen people dressed as flowers, as plants in a flower pot. Okay. And they jump up and scare people. Now, yes, I get it. It's funny. But I've also seen when it goes wrong. I happened to see one stage where there was a person and they could have had special needs, and the flower person jumped up and scared them and absolutely traumatized the person. I think there's a right place for everything. There's a right time for everything. I think the way the world has gone now, with so many, like, the world is full of, I don't even know what to call them, but there's some people out there do crazy things and they don't know what the consequences are going to be. Now, I think it's because when they were younger, they didn't have to suffer any consequences. They didn't have to. What have we got on the text line? Where is a society where culture became a bunch of pansies? Well, we're not a bunch of pansies. We can't even stomach the smell of a dead animal. Yes, there is some people that can't stomach the smell of a dead animal, but that again, that is because if you ask some young people from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, where do animals come from? They're going to say a supermarket. Or where does beef come from? It comes from a supermarket. If you tell a young kid or even an old kid, a teenager, that the chicken nuggets they're eating from whatever fast food restaurant they came from comes from an actual chicken, they won't know what to do. They won't believe you. If you tell them that the burger they're eating was once called Daisy and lived in a field, they'll probably get sick. And that self same Daisy is the Daisy, right? It is the Daisy who has been doing all the cow farts and has been upping the heat of the world because nothing else can be done about it. Yeah, that's not what happens. Text line, Odie, they're the team of people. There is a term for people like that, and I can't say what it is, but it is the name of a show that was big back in the 90s. Johnny Knoxville was in it. Listen, they done stupid things, but mm. Anyway, when I come back, do we need a change of leadership within the Secret Service? Let me tell you my thoughts. You're listening to Newstalk 98.9 WORD. This is the voice of the Carolinas. your decision. Anyway, when I come back, I'm going to be talking hunting stories because people have been texting in asking what do I hunt and where do I like to hunt. So get all your stories in now to the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307. You are listening to the Charlie James Show here on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Did you ever let technology tell you what to do. My watch keeps telling me to stand up now. I'm not going to do it. You're listening to Charlie James Show. Odie Fitzgerald filling in for Charlie. Last segment of my hour here tonight. I was talking earlier on about the fact that nobody has anything left in their wallet because of Old Man Joe. Yeah, Old Man Joe is, well, he's putting the prices, not him personally. I mean, he's not sitting there and saying, oh, I think the price of gasoline should go up to $400 for a liter because we're in Canada, right? That's what happens, eh? No, you got to text into the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line 71307. It says, Capital One Bank always says, what's in your wallet? My answer is not very much. It's true, though. It's true. 4 or 5 years ago, I was paying 30 cents for a dozen eggs. On Tuesday, I paid $3.77 for 12 eggs. That is 1,000% increase. Yes, it is. Think about it. When I came to America first, 7 years ago, gas was $1. I think it was $1.80 or $1.50. I drive an old beat up Toyota Tundra pickup truck, and I was able to fill it for I think about $40, $35, maybe $40. I can't do it now anymore. I cannot do that. No. So just think about that. When you're going to vote, just think about it. Now, as you know, hunting season has well and truly kicked off. If you want to go to my Facebook page, you can see how close I got to a little buck last Friday night. He was actually walking around the bottom of my tree stand. He was sniffing around. He was so close to me, I could hear him chewing. I could hear him eating the acorns and chewing. That's how close he was to me. Okay. Um, so what I want to know is, are you going to try and hunt a deer? Now, with the beef prices that they are in stores, then I think you might. I am. It costs about $110 to process a deer, and some people can do it on their own. Some people can process the deer themselves. I wish I knew how to. I did at one stage back years ago, but I don't. You cannot beat that price. It's 110, give or take, to get your deer processed. And with that way, you know exactly where the meat is coming from. You know that there's no hormones in the meat. You know the meat is clean. You know it's healthy meat. You know that, yeah, I mean, you know everything about it. It could be a 3-year-old deer that you kill. You harvest the meat. Are you going hunting? Have you already hunted? Have you got a deer? That's what I want to know. What have you done? Are you using a shotgun? Some people just use with the slugs and the shotguns, a rifle. I know Bill talks a lot about different rifles that are out there. I personally use a 30-06. Um, and normally when I get my deer processed, I get some cube steak. I get lots of hamburger meat. This year, myself and a buddy of mine, we're going to split a deer. We're going to go half and half with the what is it? The jerky and the summer sausage. It's a little bit expensive, but we're going to go half and half, and we're going to split a deer and do that. On the text line, somebody says to me, the bear season starts today. Can you eat bear? I don't. I know you can eat bear. No. Another texter, and listen, I'm open to all opinions. Another texter says to me, never. Couldn't do it. We will eat beans. If you get some beans, right, and you put them into a nice sauce, and you put it in with your deer meat, your hamburger meat, and you mix it all together. It's mighty tasty. Actually, I had people over from Ireland a couple of years back, and I was just after cooking a deer stroganoff, lovely deer stroganoff. I'm not a bad cook. Not a bad cook. I've gotten better. Don't burn so much stuff anymore. And I said to the guys, I said, "Would you have a bowl?" And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, cool." And I said, "Tell me what meat it is." And they were like, "Well, it's either lamb or beef." And I was like, "Yeah, well, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, man, yeah." And I gave it to them, and it was deer, and they didn't realize it, and they were like, "Oh, it's really good." I was like, "You're after eating deer," and one of them actually was like, "Oh man, oh really? Did I eat deer?" Oh, but yeah, no, and that's what I like. And the thing is, like, not only are you going out getting your fresh deer and you're getting your fresh meat, but I mean, there's a big, huge population. But yeah, no, I definitely want to know: can you eat deer or bear meat? A little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Texter says to me, I wish someone placed order classes in field dressing, maybe processing a deer. I want you, and oh yeah, see that is a thing as well. Tell you what, we're going to go really quickly to the WRD talk line. We've got Richard in Dallas. Richard, you're going to tell me all about bear meat.
Well, I ain't gonna tell you all about it, but I'm gonna tell you this:
Go on.
wild game is basically depends upon how it's handled after it's harvested. You understand?
Yeah, I do. So
I mean,
depending on how long,
the meat needs to be cured. The meat needs to cure.
yeah,
But bear meat, yes, is edible. It's got a thicker, more coarse grain than beef. And, like I said, depends on how the meat is handled after it's harvested, is dependent on the taste of it. I mean, that's all it boils down to.
That's true.
That's man.
That is true. Thank you very much, Richard, for your call.
Hey, man.
Yeah, it is the thing. It depends on how you handle it. Like, I mean, I know you have to hang deer and you have to prepare meat properly. Bear meat has to be proper. You can do all that kind of stuff, but and it's as well when you're cooking it. Like, I mean, if you slow cook, I found cooking deer meat the way I used to cook it in Ireland doesn't work over here. I used to cook beef like that in Ireland, it doesn't work over here. Slow cook it. You make it nice, make it tender. You throw in your herbs and your spices into it. There's lots of stuff happens. There's lots of there's lots of different ways to prepare your meat. Yeah. Well, listen, if you are going hunting, best of luck. I will be out there tomorrow night. Hopefully, I will get one. Charlie is going to be back tomorrow at 3. I'll be back on the air 8 o'clock Sunday night. Thanks very much. Slán Bye.